Folks. Welcome to TMI. It's all alleged. The allegations that we are allegating is all allegatory. Look here. Alabama's police force in the division. Oh, look here. They honor. All right, this is interesting. I gotta read this tonight. All right, let me keep this. Keep this. Okay, let me put this here. All right, and person must be very pleased. Okay, honoring. Okay, that's very good. I'll need to put that there. This is not gonna be a long show tonight. I got a couple of things to say, and then when I say it, I get off. Um, it is what it is. It ain't gonna be no long thing tonight. Cheers, that's loud. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Cheers. The boy ain't listening to me. Y'all know the boy. Y'all hear me calling him? Calling him. He ain't listening to me. The boy getting out of hand. Anyhow, we're gonna get started. Let me look for this thing on Facebook, and then because I was about to look for it on Facebook here. Let me make sure now. And then like I said, I ain't gonna be on here long. This ain't gonna be no long, drawn out, whatsoever. I can keep it to the point. Try to. I will try. I will try to keep it to the point. You know, bear with me as I do what I do. I believe that's not us. This is us here now. I gotta pin this. I can pin it first because I got to pin it, and then when I done pin it, I need you, of course, to let me know if you hear me and all that other stuff. Um, I was already at a meeting tonight. I was already live tonight, but I was live for that particular meeting, and now I'm gonna go live tonight for TMI. So I'm hitting at highlights and at followers. And so when you join the live, I want you to hit at highlights and at followers. And share the live. Yeah, okay. Oh, bloody hell. I need to figure this thing out. Oh, crap. And I need to charge my phone because I need my phone to be up and do. All right, now let's get to the comments section. Somebody said, "Good night, Mr. Gibson." All right. Yeah, let's see. Thank you, Veronica. I haven't said Hepburn. And let's see who else. Oh, no. So let me tell you, I can show you all how to do our highlights on the screen. So I'm going to click show. So you see that's at highlight or what I have. That's at followers. So you could type that on your screen. Just how you see me have it on my screen. Type at followers on your thing. And I can do the at highlights one as well. So you can type at highlights, and that will help to get your people to share the broadcast. And what you could also do is you could just share the live. Okay? Share it. Let people know the TMI is now live. We've got 11 persons on here. We've got 6 persons. Of course, we're watching from several different pages. We're up on YouTube. I'm going to post both of the links in the chat, the YouTube link and the Facebook link. I'm going to post them both in the chat so that you can get on it, and you can choose. So you can choose to be on YouTube, or you can choose to be on the Facebook. But I'm already live on YouTube. Let me see. Yes, I am on. Oh, bloody hell! I don't want to talk. Don't talk. The Facebook link. Don't talk, bitch. All right, so I got the YouTube link. I'm gonna copy the YouTube link and put it in the put it in group settings so I can share it. Okay, let's see. All right, let's post this. Now we have to do this like this and say TMI is now live on YouTube. Okay, TMI is now live. TMI, it's all alleged. I gotta make sure it's all alleged. It's now live YouTube. There you go. Okay, and I gotta bold that. Okay, bold that like that. Yeah. Okay, I gotta bold that like that. I can put both there. I can put, so you have the YouTube link out and I can have the Facebook link out. Okay, so the YouTube link I'm setting up now, and then I have to go look for the Facebook one. All right, and then so I gotta get the Facebook one up, and let me know if you can hear me. I need to know that you can hear me as we do this because, and like I said, I have a couple of things that I need to talk about. And so share the live and let everybody know that TMI is now live. And then I'm gonna go share the live because I gotta go share it in my WhatsApp groups. I do have these various WhatsApp groups that I can share it in. I'm going to share in them. I wonder why my lighting is like that. Huh? I don't like that. I might have to change that because the background. Or maybe I just need to take the background off. I don't like the background being like that. Maybe I need to put it closer. I don't know. Do I need to put it closer? I don't know. Anyhow, it is what it is. If I need to change the background, y'all let me know. We'll see how that goes. Let me see something. I need to get this link. I got a good couple of things I need to talk about tonight before I get started. So no, not say before I get started, but when we get. So okay. I'm done saying we got 3 comments. See, this thing is something else. Okay, TMI. So that's on YouTube. It's now live on Facebook. Copy. And so yeah, this me getting started. All right. I did add highlights. Oh, Veronica did it now. So you can do our highlights. You can do our followers. Gina Major, thank you. I appreciate you. Good night. Gina said she's watching all the way from Freeport. That's Gina. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now we will share the link in the various WhatsApp groups, and then after we share the link, we can get started. There ain't gonna be no long talking. There ain't gonna be no long drawn out stuff. I don't know if I have an early morning tomorrow, and so I don't want to put myself at risk where I'm up too late reading. But there's a couple of things I need to tackle, and I plan on tackling them now, this minute, this very second. Okay, now that I have the links up, let me share the links in the various groups, and then we can go from there. Okay, so status, this, that, and that. Okay. So again, I gotta share it because, and so while I'm sharing it, I need you to be building the viewers. So build the viewers, get them in the online, let them know TMI is now live. They can be on Facebook or on YouTube because we now have our YouTube page up. All right. So the YouTube is if you want to watch it on the big screen. Facebook is if you want to watch it regular. And then some people do have the ability to watch Facebook on the big screen. So it is what it is. All right. I am. Okay. Ooh, somebody wanted me to talk about. Oh, okay. I'm trying to watch out because I keep making a mistake and dropping it in my son's school group, but that's an error. So that's never intentional. Okay. Janice, I can hear you well. Laverne Hannah Rowe, thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining us tonight. I'm sharing the link and I'm following, making sure it's all good. Let me see something. And so, yeah. I do it, and I need everybody to be on tonight. I got a couple of little things I must talk about, and whether you like it or like it not, I can talk about that. That little boy, y'all, I don't know. I hope y'all can't hear his thing here, because his thing is quite loud. I can hear it right here to the table where I'm sitting, and I don't think he's intentionally being a nuisance, but he is being a nuisance. Cheers, cheers. And y'all know. Well, I know it's supposed to be his bedtime now. But I guess it is what it is. The little boy answered me. The little boy say, "Frig you." Okay. Let's see. Let's check. I just want to make sure I don't put this thing in the wrong group. Okay. Yeah, I gotta make sure that. Yeah. Okay. Of course, I made a mistake and put them in the wrong group. And some people may think I'm not making a mistake, but I am making a mistake. Tonight I went to Windermere, and they had a meeting about the Windermere development, the Windermere Club development. And I need to tell you about that because really and truly, that really messing with me. That messed with me tonight. That I was not pleased. I did see my good friend Philippa, and she, like many others, are excited about this project. But yeah, I was not pleased. And that's not because different people have different reasons why something may not be right to them. Um, People have different reasons of seeing it, and so I'm not saying that the people who saw it, who support the project, are of the wrong opinion, because we have a right to have different views. Look how you're on. We have a right to have different views, but I just personally was not pleased with some of the things that I saw. And then it annoyed me tonight that they didn't have a mic system to make sure that the persons who were in the room could hear them clearly. That was disturbing to me because if you're going to be doing something of this magnitude, you should make sure that you have persons can hear you, meaning that you provide the mechanisms to ensure that they can hear you. It's just my personal view. And maybe somebody emphasized the meeting that's the meeting that was organized by the Prime Minister's office. I don't care who organized the meeting. If you come in to present and you expect me to hear you, you will make provisions to ensure that I hear you. And it doesn't matter who organizes the meeting. Whether it's the Prime Minister's office, whether it's the government house, I don't care who it is. Well, let's say Fort Fitzgerald or Mount Fitzgerald, whatever. You don't care. You organize a meeting to say you haven't talked to me, make the provisions to ensure that you could talk to me. It is what it is. And people ain't gonna like that, but guess who really don't care? Me. Laverne Hannah Rose said I couldn't hear them. And Laverne, I understand you clearly. Because I was in the room, and there were people in the room who couldn't hear them. And so imagine people who were not in the room. You understand what I'm saying to you? Struggling on those cameras, trying to hear them. That was just ridiculous. It was a thing. And how in these big time project and can't even afford mic for your meeting? Mic and speaker. to how you doing that? How you doing that? And but anyhow, it is what it is. All right. Okay. We're doing a couple of things at the same time, so bear with me. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Now, as I share how many people on? 21? 21 people? The rest of y'all gone to bed already? Okay, anyhow. So we got 21 people on. I can talk to these 21 then. All right. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TMI. It's all alleged. It is now 10:32. I appreciate your presence. We're not going to be long. We just have a couple of things we need to talk about. We can talk about them. It is what it is. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Somebody said greetings, brother. Thank you for your presence on this live. Let me get to the scripture for the night before I get started, and then we're gonna go right into the live. And I need to do the disclaimer. Bible Gateway will tell us what the scripture for the night is. The scripture for tonight is taken from Job, chapter 37, verse 5 and 6. It says, God's voice is glorious in the thunder. We can't even imagine the greatness of his power. He directs the snow to fall on the earth and tells the rain to to pour down. Amen. He directs the snow to fall on the earth and tells the rain to pour down. That is Job chapter 37, verses 5 and 6. Let me set up the the TikTok broadcast, and then we go right into the show. Live. It's all alleged. Okay, go ahead. Go live. And I can set. Okay. This camera up on this side. Okay. There you go. So it's all alleged. All right. So we're on TikTok as well. Let me bring the camera up just a little bit more. Okay. I think I got it now. Okay. All right. There you go. Welcome to TMI. It's all alleged. The allegations that we're allegating is all allegatory. TMI is a production of ALT Media and Communications. We do conduct promotions and we do accept sponsorship. If you are interested in sponsoring TMI, please send us a message at telephone 242-473-8566. Tell us, I want to sponsor TMI. If you want to be a part of the TMI WhatsApp group, send us a message at 242-473-8566 and say, I want to be in the TMI WhatsApp group. Let me fix it this way. You want to be in the TMI WhatsApp group, send us a message at 242-473-8566 and say, I don't give a foot. I want to be in the TMI WhatsApp group. It is what it is. All right. Now, I need to find a disclaimer and read it to you. I'm going to read that to you in a very short few seconds. So just bear with me. And I'm not going to be long. I have a lot to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about a lot, but there's only a couple of things I need to hit back on and reinforce and talk about. And once I do those, I can move on and go about my business. All right? I have no intention of sticking around long. But before we get into that, we got to get into the disclaimer. TMI has to make sure that we cover ourselves as well as make sure that persons are aware that we are expressing our opinions, because this is an opinion. This is really an opinion show. All right. The content shared on TMI platforms, including broadcasts, WhatsApp groups, and live discussions, consist of allegations, claims, and information that may not have been thoroughly vetted or verified. TMI does not endorse, accept, or validate any stories, accusations, or allegations presented unless officially confirmed by credible sources. All individuals mentioned in any shared content are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Reviewers, readers, and listeners are strongly encouraged to evaluate the information provided critically and await official statements or investigations before forming any conclusions. Furthermore, TMI may include references to copyrighted material under the fair use principle, for purposes such as news reporting, education, commentary, or criticism. No copyrighted infringement is intended. If any copyrighted material has been used in error, please get in touch with us and we will promptly address the matter. By engaging with TMI content, you acknowledge that all information shared is alleged, unconfirmed, and unverified unless explicitly stated otherwise. Viewers and the participants should exercise discretion and caution when interpreting or sharing the material. All right. Let's move on. Very quickly. This is the last week for you to get your tickets for the F&M banquet that's going to be held on Saturday night, Saturday, November 15th, 2025, at the police headquarters in Governor's Harbor. And listen to me, it's going to be an awesome affair. And you want to make sure that you are there. And so my advice would be to get yourself together, get yourself organized, and make sure that your presence is felt at that event in Governor's Harbor on November 15th. That's the F&M banquet. Philippa Kelly's going to be there. She's the F&M, the Free National Movement candidate for Central and South Eleuthera, who's contesting the 2026 general election. Hubert Ingham is going to be there. Michael Pintard is going to be there. A whole host of F&M elites, and of course the F&M executives of the party, members of the council, and of course the FNM supporters on the ground. So it's going to be a grand affair. Get your red, put on your nice suit, your nice bow tie. It's going to be an official event, but it's going to be a banquet where you can go and enjoy yourselves and have a wonderful time. And I'm sure you don't want to miss out on it. Make your presence felt. All right, don't act shy and shame and then don't show up and talk with everything. And it isn't about politics. It's a grand affair. Anyone can attend, and so attend. Make your presence felt. Get down there to the banquet. Put on your nice clothes. Buy some food. Share and sponsor each other and encourage Philippa as she pursues her effort. All right. Oh, now I received a notice about a road closure. I'm going to read it to you. It says, public notice, road closure alert, Cotton Bay Project, Chris Fireman Brown Boulevard. Cotton Bay Holdings Limited advises the public that Chris Fireman Brown Boulevard will be closed through traffic effective Monday, November 10th. So that's as of today, as part of an ongoing works under the Cotton Bay Development Project. They're expecting the reopening by March of 2026. The closure areas, vehicles will not be able to travel on the Chris Fireman Brown Road beyond 4,000 feet from the intersection of the Sherman Highway and the Chris Fireman Brown Road. Alternative routes, southbound traffic access Wims's Bight from Greencastle via the highway. Northbound traffic access Chris Fireman Road up to 1.5 miles before the closure point. So for further information, please contact info@cottonbayholdings.com. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience and cost and thank the public for their patience and cooperation as we work to improve our community infrastructures. All right, so they're shutting down Chris Fireman Brown Road. And so for those persons who normally traverse that road, the system has changed. And so you want to make sure, get yourself together and organize how you're going to get from one point to the other in that particular area. Now, I saw a story tonight on Facebook, and it was related to, it says, Officer Spotlight, Royal Bahamas Police Force Eleuthera Division. It says, today we honor Assistant Superintendent, or retired Assistant Superintendent Lucas Ambrister, a respected veteran of the Royal Bahamas Police Force who dedicated 40 years of service to our nation. He joined the force on February 7th, 1975, and brought his experience to the Eleuthera Division in July of 2002. Over the next 13 years, he rose to become officer in charge as an assistant superintendent, providing fearless leadership, wise counsel, and guidance to countless officers. Even after retiring, ASP retired, Ambrister continues to serve the community he calls home in Cotton Bay, Eleuthera, training volunteer firefighters and coaching young students at Preston Albury High School. We salute ASP Ambrister for his lifelong dedication to the force and his unwavering commitment to the people of Eleuthera. And so, Lucas, I want to commend you for that, and I thank God for you and your contributions. Chris, I want to thank you for following us over on TikTok. Thank you so much. Listen, it's going to be epic. Now, we got some stuff we need to talk about quickly, and we're going to get that out of the way right now. And I'm going to start with this meeting that I attended tonight. I attended a meeting. Before I even get into that, before I even get into the meeting tonight, let me deal with this little thing quick. So I got, I saw a story. All of us saw the story. The story about this nurse. Let me see what's the nurse name. She's a nurse who did a video and talking about the state of affairs at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Nurse. Let me see if I can bring that story up. Oh, let me say fine. Nurse suspended. Nurse suspended. Yeah. But she was a nurse who gave a story. Okay. This is it. Yeah, let's see. Listen to this. Let's see. Let me say again.
Did anyone see that massive demonstration?
Listen.
Did anyone see that massive demonstration?
I don't know her name. Let me see if her name is here.
Held by the teachers in Rawson Square? The president of the union, the teachers union, stood firm with them as their concerns were addressed. Did you hear what the Prime Minister said? Out of the goodness of his heart, he will ensure that the teachers receive their monies. Mr. Prime Minister, out of the goodness of your heart, please listen to the many concerns we have at the Princess Margaret Hospital. The roofs are leaking, Mr. Prime Minister. Lack of supplies, lack of human resources, not to mention the rodent problem that we have. When will the Accident and Emergency Department be open, Mr. Prime Minister, so that we can treat our patients with dignity and privacy? Out of the goodness of your heart, please listen to the cries and help bring about change, much needed change in the Princess Margaret Hospital, out of the goodness of your heart, Mr. Prime Minister. Teachers, keep fighting for your rights. Keep fighting for your rights. Please hear the cry of a concerned nurse at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Hear our cry. Did anyone see that massive jump?
Y'all heard the nurse. The nurse, I understand, her name is Pearline Williams. Nurse Pearline Williams. And of course, after she did this video and it went viral, she was suspended by the Public Hospitals Authority for obviously sharing this public voice note. There are some persons who don't feel that she should have been suspended, and they include Dr. Michael Darville, who is the Minister of Health, and Dr. Dwayne Zans, who was the former Minister of Health, and who serves in the Free National Movement as the chairman of the party. Now, I need you all to hear what I have to say on this, because people have asked me my views, and I'm going to tell you my views here and now. And I know many of you are not going to agree with me, but that's fine, because I don't say things for you to agree or agree with me. I say things because that is what I believe. That's what my opinion is, or that's how I see it. Whether you agree with me or agree with me not, it's not going to affect how I respond. At the outset, I understand Ms. Williams' concerns with respect to what is happening with the government hospital, the terrible state of affairs at that institution. And we've heard many horror stories from many people about what's going on there. The food is cold because they don't cook there anymore. The morgue is falling apart. The air conditioner doesn't work. There are rodents and there are rodents and insects all over the place. The roof is leaking, and so many other concerns are happening at that Princess Margaret Hospital. The Princess Margaret Hospital is a disaster area. It should be declared a disaster area. That's how bad it is. Many areas that should be functioning are not functioning. We have persons dying because the dialysis machine isn't working or the system isn't put together. We have all systems that are at that hospital antiquated. not together. And so Bahamians are not getting first-class treatment as they should. The system is worried by the fact that many persons take advantage of the services there and do not pay. And then we have the situation where foreigners, legal and illegal, are about to place at that institution, taking advantage, getting the medication, selling it, and doing all kinds of things. So Princess Margaret Hospital and the health facilities in this country are in a terrible state of affairs. That's the reality of the matter. The thing is, Nurse Pearline Williams works in that situation, and she works in that institution. Now, the message in the video is important. We needed to hear it. The problem is, Nurse Pearline Williams should not have been the one to deliver it. She could have used any number of platforms. It don't have to be mine. It could be Brittany Harris. It could be Cindy Jackson. It could be anybody. It could be the union leaders. Because these people who are ahead of these unions should be out there voicing the concerns because they have the right to speak to certain things. It could be any of these persons. It could not be Nurse Pearline Williams. She works for the government. She works as an employee of the current administration. When she said, Mr. Prime Minister, she made her statement political. Because the issues that they're facing at Princess Margaret Hospital didn't just start. These same issues were happening under the Free National Movement. The place was falling apart under them just as it is falling apart under the PLP. It is only further exacerbated under the PLP because the F&M did not do what they were supposed to do while they were in office. So all of them bear some responsibility with the poor hospital falling apart. But when the F&M was in power and the hospital was not functioning the way that it should, Nurse Pearline Williams did not speak. And we know about it. There was a situation where people were dying outside the hospital, waiting on dialysis under the Free National Movement. So, where was Nurse Williams then? Where was her voice when these things were happening under the former administration? When she said, Mr. Prime Minister, she was out of order. She made it political. When both parties have failed the hospital, failed the people of the Bahamas, failed the patients who need the care and services of that institution. Both of them have supervised the decay of that structure. Both of them have supervised that place being the disaster that it is. And so, no, Nurse Williams, you should not have said that. Secondly, Nurse Williams knows that this goes against general orders. And if she doesn't know, she should know. Whose fault is that? That's her responsibility. Ignorance is no excuse of the law. She had a duty to ensure that she was aware of what her responsibilities were. And she is not a liaison officer for the government, for the public hospitals, for the public hospitals authority. She's not a liaison officer for the Ministry of Works. So how dare she do that? She can address these concerns in writing. She can speak to the head of her department. She can't even address the Prime Minister on that level. Not as a nurse. And she didn't say this as a concerned citizen. In her own video, she said, as a nurse, anybody could have done this. Any number of people could have done it. She chose to do it, and in choosing to do it, she put herself in jeopardy. I just talked to somebody about this the other day. I said, don't mind that there are certain things you do. I said, the very same people who may support you in your agenda will also be the same people who use the stuff that you do against you. Dwayne Sands knows better, and Dr. Michael Darwell know better. But they are both playing politics with us because you know what? We, including this Pauline Williams, are all pawns in this political game between the PLP and the FNM. Dr. Darwell couldn't say anything else but what he said, that he didn't agree with the nurse being suspended. But I want to assure you, when he says that, he's not telling you the truth. He's lying. Do you really think Nurse Dr. Darwell wanted a nurse to be out there embarrassing him? Embarrassing his ministry? Embarrassing the government that he is literally a minister of? Huh? You really think so? Huh? Absolutely not. But he has to play the politics. He has to play the part because guess what? There's a by-election coming up. And you got to say the right things. And everything has to sound the way that it sounds. And you have to sound like you're supporting the people. And you can't go against the status quo. You got to make sure that this works. Because they'll use it against you in an election. Dwayne Sands will use it against you. Even though Dwayne Sands himself knows if the shoe had been on the other foot and this had been there for them, they would have done the exact same thing. And they have done it. But these guys play these political games. Nurse Williams was absolutely unequivocally wrong. And a suspension is in order for her because she was presumptuous and took action she had no authority to do. When you want to talk against people you work for, quit. Leave that job. Or you send anonymous messages to people like me and Sylvan Matea and Brittany Harris and Cindy Jackson and whoever those political people are who, those social media activists and other persons are who get out there and say stuff. But you cannot do it working for these institutions. As with any job, you can't work for the people's job and then turn around and be destroying them publicly on social media. In many jobs, that's automatic termination. And so a suspension is a good thing for her. Because the reality of the matter is, under another institution, she would be fired. You cannot work for the people and destroy them. And some people call it whistleblowing. But what she did was not whistleblowing. Not at all. It was not. Whistleblowing is a different level. Whistleblowing is different. Whistleblowing is when somebody is in, let me give you an example. Somebody is in the Ministry of Health or in the hospital doing things and babies are dying and nobody's saying anything about it. And they're purposely doing whatever they're doing and it's resulting in deaths and nobody's exposing it. And then she comes out and she exposes it either to a particular person or lets it out so that the people can know. That's whistleblowing. But you talking about the leave the roof leaking is something everybody knew. You didn't tell any secrets and then you turn around and say, Mr. Prime Minister. So you made it a political, more of a political statement than a whistleblowing. Don't conflate or confuse the two. They are totally different. And so while I appreciate Nurse Pauline Williams for speaking up and speaking out, she was absolutely unequivocally wrong. That's just the way it is. I don't like that too bad. Michael Darwell don't care about you. He's not saying that because he doesn't want you. If Michael Darwell could have fired you, he'd fire you himself. The only way he wouldn't fire you is if you and him ain't connected. Because of the truth, if Michael Darwell did not want you suspended, you would not be suspended. He is the minister. For Jesus' sake, don't mind him talking and bull skating. He is the minister, Pauline. If the minister, literally the Lord is saying, the agency can do this or do that, or they can do, or it can happen to the by order as the minister may specify. Check it. It's in the laws. So don't mind him telling you, oh, he's so concerned and that shouldn't be, and he wants to be kept abreast of that. he knew you were getting suspended probably, and he supported your suspension. He might have been the one to make the call, huh? And say, suspend her backside. How dare she? Because you don't have the right to do that. And general orders is clear about you doing these kinds of things. So no, you have some person. I see Bahamas Nurses Union President Muriel Lightburn is pushing back against the 10-day suspension of a veteran Princess Hospital nurse who recorded a video appealing directly to the Prime Minister for improved working conditions. No, she could not appeal directly to the Prime Minister. She can speak to her superior, and her superior can speak to their superior, and their superior can speak to the other superior until it gets to the permanent secretary, and the permanent secretary gets to the Prime Minister. But she works for the government. She ain't on the road. And so there's a protocol that she has to follow. All of Muriel Lam know she got to follow protocol. Muriel Lam, so them talking foolishness ain't making no sense. Say, while Lightburn acknowledged that the nurse breached Public Hospitals Authority protocols by recording and circulating the video, she argued that the punishment is excessive. 10 days? That ain't excessive. Excessive is if they fired up one shot. And even that isn't too excessive because this is the climate that we live in. That's too excessive because things tough. But she put them out there. And she broke general orders. How can you now pretend? And see, that's why Muriel am full of foolishness. Anybody could get out there and do that. And she's acknowledging. While Lightburn acknowledged that the nurse breached Public Hospitals Authority protocols by recording and circulating the video, she argued that the punishment is excessive and fails to take into account the mounting frustrations of frontline healthcare workers. No, bloody well, Muriel, you go out there and say them things. It's you who should have said it. You shouldn't have to wait for her to say it. So the failure isn't her, the failure is you. The failure isn't. So the government ain't doing their thing, and you ain't doing yours, because you should be up and down screaming for your nurses to have better conditions and saying what the problems is, why they in these terrible conditions. That's what you should have been doing. So, Muriel, you are a failure. Talking foolishness. The PHA has since defended its actions, citing violations of confidentiality and social media policies. I didn't even read that yet. I didn't even read it yet. And it come right up on my screen, and I can tell you what I was saying is true. That she was out of order. She can't do it. I understand her passion. I understand how she feels. I understand her desire to be an activist. But sweetie, you can't be an activist and a nurse. You got to pick which one you can be. Can't be both. Not by working. And if you can be an activist, fine. Not Ministry of Health. You can activist for anything else. Go row against somebody else. Some private institution. But you, as long as you are part of the government system, you cannot publicly speak against the government. That's against general orders. It's a violation of confidentiality and of social media policies. So no. I understand how some of you may feel, but it is what it is. And I can call it like it is. And I appreciate the nurse for coming forward. I appreciate her for doing what she had to do. But she was wrong. She should have gotten advice on it, or she should have chosen one of those institutions that can help her to get the message out without tying it to her. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's all I'm saying. There are some people who don't understand that and can't understand that. But this is the reality. Okay? And so, Nurse Pauline Williams, when you come up with her suspension, it's my hope that you are able to learn your lesson from this and that you will utilize other mediums to relay messages on your behalf. Whether it's Nurse Muriel Lightburn, who is the president of your union, or whether it's one of those various social media platforms that people have access to. But you cannot, under any circumstances, as an employee of the government, publicly speak out against the government or any public institution, especially even doing it by yourself. Because don't mind all the nurses there who say they're supporting you. Oh, yeah, gal, you was right in. None of them with you. None of them. Then you don't do that and you don't get suspended. And yeah, they boost you up the top, but you don't get suspended. Then that old ass, you think she ain't no better than that? They will stab you in your back, left, right, and center, and talk bad about you and call you all the dummy. That's what they just do. You understand what I'm saying to you? When you get to the front of the line and you look back, you realize you're walking by yourself. Nobody is there with you. Not your friends, not the people who encourage you, not the people who boost you up to make that video. And such a good video it was, so well spoken. And yet so wrong. So wrong. The concerns are legitimate concerns. Very legitimate concerns. But you cannot relay them. Not as an employee of the government. It is what it is. And let me say this to you, Bahamian people. Whatever institution you work for, you cannot speak against your employer. Only person you can go to and talk about your employer is to the Department of Labor. You cannot get on social media and destroy your employer. You cannot. You can make complaints within the institution, but you cannot go outside of that institution and make those complaints and say those things. Because if you do that, and the system is running as it should, consequences will follow like night follows day. It is what it is. Miss Williams, don't let nobody fool you to do that mess again, eh? All right. Let's move on. I attended the meeting tonight in Savannah Sound. The meeting for the Windermere Club Development Project. And these private owners who are somehow finagled our land out of our possession, and they now own it. They finagled, let me see if finagle is the word. Let me see. Yeah. No. Yes. They wrangled and finagled over the points. Okay. Let's use, we want to say that. But they, whatever the case is, they somehow have manipulated or managed to manipulate themselves into the ownership of these properties, and now, which belong to, or probably originally belonged to the Savannah Town Commonage, and now preparing to do grandiose development on these properties. And when they got a huge project going on. And what was most interesting to find out was that these people already have their agenda set. Now, let me tell you what my takeaway from the meeting tonight was. I saw some people who already have what appears to be approval in my mind. I do not believe for a single moment that they're still there trying to organize this. They're only having these meetings as formalities. They had one fella there, one black fella, and 3 white fellas who came to talk to us. And when them people used to be putting the slaves on the boat, they would have some white fellas and a black fellas helping to guide them to their own people to put them on the slave ships and send them packing. Because you had blacks who sold out blacks into slavery. And maybe that's not the same thing, but that's how I was feeling tonight when I stood there and there's these 3 little white fellas and this black man. Every time they got into a pickle, he would come there and have this magical answer as to how things were so wonderful and good and how all these grandiose things are going to take place. And people are going to do exactly what Savannah Sound and Windermere area residents desire. They had a big project that they're talking about. hiring persons. They said they're probably going to be about 3,000 persons hired. Somebody asked a question about using the contractors, and they talked about how they're going to organize the contractors and train them and prepare them and help them with financial literacy and all that other good stuff. Sounds all grand. Somebody asked about access to properties, and they talked about how in the future they're going to be working to make sure that people have access to areas that they normally access. They talked about a golf course, and you had some persons, a couple of white people who raised concerns mainly about the golf course. More so, well, the first one who spoke about the golf course was Danny Rankin, but more so the white people spoke about the golf course because they are very concerned about it because they say golf courses are not good to the environment or I guess the upkeep of them. But let me tell you what I heard. I heard when someone asked the gentleman, I think his name is Danny, who was in charge of this project or organizing, helping to do the work on do the groundwork for this project. Shanique says she can't hear me. Shanique, you sure you can't hear me? I know why you can't hear me. Let me see. Let me check. I'm gonna check it right now, Shanique. Let's see if you can't hear me. Danny, let me see. Yeah, Shanique, I can hear me. I don't understand why you can't hear me. I'm so Shanique, you gotta check your thing on your end. Because others can hear me. I know why you can't hear me. Oh, okay, so that's you. All right, thank you. All right. So, like I was saying, I heard when someone asked a gentleman about access to the area, and they asked them plainly if people would be allowed into the area. And he talked about private property. Hey, Island Boy Johnson Brown, good to see you. And he said to them, no, persons will not be allowed access. In order to have access to this area now, you will have to either own property there or have a house there. And he went further and used Windermere as an example of what's happening now because you cannot access Windermere according to this individual right now. So this same Danny person can't do it. You understand what I'm saying to you? And so, okay. My signal isn't going through. I see it. I see that my signal cut. Oh, Jesus. Let me check my YouTube. Okay. Let me check my YouTube. Can you hear me? Okay. Let me check my YouTube. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, I need to unmute.
Your shadow, your constant support.
Can you hear me?
Trust in his unfailing love and let it.
You can hear me. Okay, so I don't know why on Facebook it was in the. Let me check my YouTube. Can you hear me? Okay. Mute. Okay. Okay. All right. For some reason, it's not doing on Facebook. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, like I was saying to you, I heard the individual, this Danny, the young man. His name is Danny, and Danny was explaining how people won't have access to this area, and I listened to him. Okay, so my Facebook is not going through. I listened to Danny as he spoke. I listened to Danny as he talked. I listened to Danny as he tried to relate. And I'm concerned because it means to me, it means to me that these people have an agenda. And you are not going to be a part of it, but they are happy to use you to get to where they need to be. Okay? And that's a concern for me. Oh, Jesus. I got to see what's going on. My internet isn't doing properly. Because now my YouTube look frozen. Okay. That's the right thing. Yeah, it looks frozen. Okay. Okay.
And that's a concern for me.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. I got to see what's going on. My internet isn't doing properly.
Okay.
Because now my YouTube look frozen. Okay.
Let me click mute. Okay. Like Facebook, let me know if you all can see me on Facebook, yeah? Because I can't see. Okay, lost signal. Paola, let me know if the signal has returned us yet. I'm trying to see if I can get it. Okay. All right. I think I'm back now. I'm back now? All right. It looked like I'm back now. Okay. Why does it say the live has ended? Oh, crap. They ended the live? Why does it say? Oh no. It says the live is ended, but I didn't end the live.
Come up here. Touch him.
Okay.
And by the way, not just to him, but
hold on. I don't understand that. The thing cut my live show. Okay. I didn't end my live. Okay. All right. I see what happened, but the live ended on the thing. On the okay. They ended it on the. I wonder why they ended it.
I don't understand it. The thing cut my live show.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't end my live. Okay.
But they ended my live on
see
thing.
what happened, but the live ended on the thing.
Okay, let me press.
On.
Okay, let me see something. Bear with me, because this should not be happening. No, man. The thing ended my live, and that's why I. Okay, 1 second. Restream ended my live. It's a good thing I was checking it, because I would not have known. It's a good thing I was checking it. And y'all can see me on thing here. Okay. I wonder how much I all ended the live. Let me see something. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Restream ended the live. Okay. And this is a nuisance to me. Okay. Restream ended the live for some reason, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why it ended the live. I didn't end the live. I'm trying to figure out how to get around it and fix it back. I don't know if I have to restart, end the stream, and start it over again. I'll end the stream and I'll start it over again.